everyone. Nathan Nerdarchy here from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. Today we're going to be talking about monsters, the Hags, and all the different varieties.
From 176 all the way through 179.
With me I have...
I'm Ted.
And I'm Dave.
So I really like thematically the Hags. There's a good variety of them, and Dave pointed out that some of them are Fey and some of them are Fiends. And I did not ever notice that before.
Yeah, I would not have realized that as well. I mean, I would not have even thought they were Fey, but clearly they're linked into all that stuff.
They're like Evil Witch of the West kind of thing, is what the first Hag reminds me of.
Yeah, very much like there's several movies or stories that you could definitely draw from. Clash of the Titans. They have to go. They actually have to bargain with the witches, which are very hag-like, in order to get the information of how to defeat the Kraken. In 300. He consults. He
consults the Oracle,
But
I mean, you could easily put a hag in that place. I believe that there's a hag in Macbeth as well.
Yeah,
or something that could be hag-like.
And even though in 300 it didn't appear to be a hag, but all the hags have the ability to change their appearance.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty much they're masters of illusion. So, they don't actually have to look like a hag, and depending on what it is they're trying to do, there's a good possibility that they're going to work incognito.
And even when they're doing something supposedly nice for the players in some kind of bargain, they're most likely going to screw them over.
They're always going to try and screw them over.
They're either going to screw them over or screw them over as well as gain some kind of benefit as well.
The question is, how bad is it going to be for the players? It's pretty much...
You're going to bend over and take it. How much is it going to hurt?
Yeah, because they've got the dark bargains, which they try and mess with you. It's usually something you don't like. What is it? Compromises. It basically seems like it compromises your morality, your code of conduct, or they try and render the thing that you need help with useless in some way.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, you want to go defeat this person? I'll tell you where they are, but you need to give me this sword, which the hag knows. You need it.
You need the sword.
But it's not going to let you know where the end quest kind of thing is without you giving it to them.
Right. So the thing that I really like about this is the flavor text, the background information that they give you is just laden with so many different plot hooks, plot threads, things that you can really build session and campaign arcs, in and around the fact that it's like, oh, well,
Even
the hags that steal babies, the Green Hags are obsessed with tragedy. The Night Hags steal souls. The Sea Hags
mess up
are
your dreams until you do bad things.
So there's all these things that you can wind up, working with, either as part of an overall story arc, or like constantly weaving in and out of, or just used for a single session. It still can be just a sheer awesome amount of stuff.
And whenever you want to dial up the difficulty, just make them part of a coven.
Yeah, touching on what Ted said, I mean, it's the flavor text, even just the headings, ugly inside and out, soulmongers,
obsession with tragedy,
dark sorority, foul nature, dark bargains, monstrous motherhood, faces of evil. Even like each one of those could be a story arc all by itself. Like you just reading them puts ideas in my head.
Yeah. Every single section, I'm like, wow, I got this idea now for this hag.
The fact that no matter how strong or how weak the hag, they can join into a coven and make them stronger.
Right. We got 3 CR2s. Well, guess what? Now they got a 6th level spell slot. What the flip?
Yeah. There's that. There's the way they spawn
Propagate.
more. Yeah, propagate. That's the word I'm looking for. With the monstrous motherhood.
It's really terrible.
They take a baby, they eat a baby, they have a baby. At puberty, that baby turns into a hag.
But beforehand, it looks like a normal child.
Yeah,
really
like
up.
as a joke, they like to take that baby and be like, drop it on the doorstep for somebody or return it to his parents. Yeah, here's your baby back, and they're like overjoyed. And the next thing you know, their baby's eating them.
or getting really ugly and going through the puberty change, but in a bad way.
I would not call that the puberty change.
Oh, come on.
This is not the music.
That's because your daughter's really young, so mine is starting to get the emotional stuff that goes with it, which...
I heard emotions run wild, but this is unnatural.
Yeah, this is crazy. So, Dungeons, Dragons, and Monsters, Hags, how do we use these guys?
Well, I mean...
I absolutely think you should use one as a nice little commoner girl that her parents are concerned, weird things are happening, supernatural stuff's happening, like maybe it's a poltergeist. You want to like give them the impression that it's like 10 other things.
Yeah.
And she starts getting blemishes and having like maybe she's cursed or something. And there's this kind of like understanding that she could even be like the favored kind of beautiful daughter of the surrounding farmland. So everyone's trying to like a suitor for her. And so there's all this kind of competition. So you actually don't know if someone is actually cursing her out of spite, or so there's like this like kind of mystery around it and what's going on. But in the end, she starts hanging out with the wrong crowd. She starts like keeping animal bones in her pockets and
no physical changes. I would do no physical changes at first. I would have her completely unaware. She's troubled or haunted by dark dreams or visions. And people are trying to help her with this. Like you said, there's weird stuff going on. Maybe instead of she's keeping dead animals or stuff, maybe dead animal offerings are being left at the doorstep from the hag mother that's been watching all along. And even if they I would almost want them to encounter the hag mother and defeat it, only to come back and be like, all right, everything should be okay, and then all of a sudden it burst out of its flesh like a skin mask, and revealing the hag inside, right? And just have especially if you wanted to do like a darker adventure, be like they win the day per se, but they lose the girl in the end.
Oh yeah. Because she was never really
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of two ways to go about it: the players just defeat another monster, or this child runs off and will become a threat later on in the campaign.
All right, okay, so they defeat the hag mother. This is another way. I like the cinematic bursting out of the skin thing, but the other way is they go off to defeat the hag mother because they realize what's actually going on is this terrible witch in the woods is cursing the family. Well, over time, this girl.
Quick question. At the end, after she bursts through, would it be too much for her to fling her hand out, and the broom in the corner flies to her, and she flies off on the broom?
I was actually gonna do that exactly.
I like that. I'd go with it.
I mean, it's no giant skull, but
Yeah. Oh yeah. Some of the things, fantastic. So I was saying, so they go off. And they figure out it's a hag, so they're going to go off and kill the hag. Well, over time, it happens over like months. The girl's noticing changes in herself, but she doesn't say anything to people. And she notices oh, there's a blemish on my face. Well, then it goes away. It's really her just naturally illusioning herself to continue to blend in. And she realizes, she sees herself how she is, but she notices no one else comments about it. So over time, she's just getting uglier and uglier. And her just doing weird things to her dolls, busting out their eyes, or kind of creepy horror stuff that you'd be like, what is going on? And it's oh, maybe she's possessed or whatever. So they go off. Well, they come back and her parents are now dead and she's missing, and it's really because she's a hag now. She's full-blown hag now and is going off on her own. But I like your cinematic thing. But for a continuation of the murder mystery kind of feel, I like that kind of
So one is definitely that noir, that dark noir where there is no winning.
Yeah.
And the other one is kind of the continuation of the murder mystery.
Yeah.
And it's really tough to decide which way to go. I think with that, because they both have their they both have their appeal. The total shock value of the skin, the skin mask versus the it was the girl all along. So there's definitely a lot of ways to go with it. There's a lot of fun to be had. Hag. A lot of fun to be hag. Now, and these monsters, there's so much you can do with it. And I like the fact that they're dark fae.
Right.
And going along with the suitor thing, if it was a night hag, she could actually be the daughter could be having the suitors do more and more terrible things through their dreams and actually corrupting them. And then, like, the suitors are dropping off one by one. So another, like, kind of murder mystery thing. Whenever you have a monster that can hide in plain sight and they like bad things, I just, like, get really tempted to make it some kind of, you know, like, what's going on
off
thing.
of your idea of it's the mother hag controlling the suitors, the girl's illusioning herself to look normal, and, you know, instead of having the suitors disappear, you know, you have the suitors start doing horrible things
I was gonna
to impress the daughter.
Right.
Yes.
And, you know, you start with baby steps and things.
Well, I would assume, like, one disappears because one actually murdered the other one and threw him in the swamp kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could definitely do things like that. And yeah, also, like, maybe the requests almost seem, while kind of, like, bad, seem to, like, make sense in the context.
Yeah.
You know, in the greater good.
Or she might say, oh, could you get this thing for me? But someone else owns it. Rather than, like, work to buy it, he steals it, or he mugs the person for it.
Right.
And under a normal influence of just, everyday thing, he's like, I should go off and make some money and I'll buy that for you. But under the nightmare, you know, hag, the night hag influence, he decides to just go, I'll just do this terrible thing to get it.
Right.
Or if you're going with the weird stuff curses going on, you know, like, she starts convincing other suitors that, you know, that whoever has bewitched her, you know, and they have to be, the only way to stop it is to murder them. You know, or things like that, you know.
Well, she, you know, using that angle, I mean, she could be telling, you know, each suitor,
I think it's this person.
you know, different information. You know, like, oh well, you know, I need this item to make this thing end, or we need this person, you know, removed because she could be behind it, or he could be behind it. So, like, every time that, you know, little tidbits
There's a
that
magic
constantly
flower
change.
in the swamp that I'd really like.
You know. You know, so it just keeps, you know, she keeps, every time they come back, it's some other thing, some other piece of information that is just blatantly wrong. And as you said, baby steps to, you know, go venture into the here and bring me back that thing, hoping that, you know, the guy will die. But if he doesn't die, well, then she gets this flower that she might be able to do something with, you know, or, you know, whatever little bits that you can actually do.
And I definitely, like, see two different tracks here. Like, you have the mother hag that maybe the daughter hag isn't even aware of, and she stays in the shadows. And what she does is really malevolent and very evil, where the daughter starts off on this path of dark mischief, which kind of just slowly escalates.
Because she might just be irritated with, you know, being gorgeous and having all these suitors and being like, you know, jokingly or, like, mockingly, why don't you do this for me?
Well, you could even have the mother hag showing up every once in a while in the guise of the daughter, because they can illusion their appearance.
Well, that's
so,
true.
You know, that could be, like, the first, you know, real twist in, you know, oh well, go do this thing.
Or what if the mother hag replaces the real mother? You know, murders her and replaces her, and doesn't even tell the daughter hag, and then you have the father going, "What is going on here?"
My wife and my daughter are going crazy.
Yeah, I always heard that their periods could sync up, but never thought it'd be like this vortex of evil.
Honey, wouldn't you really like that dress?
You know, so you know, and maybe the hag has overarching plans to start a coven. And, you know, this is, you know, the first phase of
one
that.
family at a time.
Yeah, it could be. You know, she's going to use her daughters.
The midwife. She replaces the midwife. That would be excellent.
Or the nanny. Because the midwife isn't going to stick around, I don't think.
That's true.
Well, you know, comes and checks on them, figures out locations of where.
Be like, look,
is.
she's 15 now. We don't really need a midwife anymore.
Oh, you mean like come and see the? Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, your friends. Yeah, you replace the midwife of the town, and you impersonate her for the rest of that time. You know exactly where the babies are, what's going on, and you can replace them and keep tabs on everybody if you're in the town. But I don't know if a hag could do. That would be a long game. She'd have to have a reason for it. Well, like creating her own coven.
Well, yeah, but she also likes to corrupt mortals. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same as like it does sound like they're very, very much homebodies for monsters. They like their lair.
Right.
They like people to come to them and ask for bargains and favors, and they
yeah,
like
there's
to
that.
decorate with the entrails of their enemies.
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to do that.
It would
Honey,
really
do you like
cramp
these
her
drapes?
style. Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with you?
You don't like
You don't like the bone wind chime?
Yeah.
So, any last points?
Not really. I mean, we could probably go on for a long time about hags. There's a ton of stuff you can do with them.
I feel inspired.
Every
section.
little every little paragraph has something that you can use these for.
There's like four magic items just specific to them. I think it's actually three. Which is really cool.
Soul Bag, Hearthstone, and Magic Eye.
Yeah.
Hag Eye, whatever you want to call it.
And one of these could easily just be a little trinket that no one knows what it does, and someone starts with it. And they're like, oh, this is really a Hearthstone and it's got a soul in it, or something crazy, down the line. You can figure out that kind of stuff. So.
All right, so what do you guys think? Is there anything that you would want to use a hag for? Anything that we left out? Go ahead and put it in the comments below. While you're doing that, feel free to click like, share, even subscribe.
Oh, hags are huge. There's tons of stuff we left out, but we're looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it. You can even tweet at us at Nerdarchy at Twitter about it if you'd like.
Join the conversation over on Reddit.
So until next time, stay nerdy.